So if you've been online, you've probably seen some of these really cute makeup pouches, and I wanted to sew one myself, but I couldn't really find anywhere online to make it. I was looking at YouTube and I just couldn't really find it, so I decided to just figure it out, make a pattern, just figure it out. Here's how I did it. If you want to make one too, then watch this video. The materials you're going to need to do this project are an object to trace, tape measure, ruler, colored pencil or chalk to write with, paper for your pattern, fabric scissors, pins, thread, a sewing machine, and lace, which is optional. The first step for this project is you're gonna measure the circumference of your object. Mine was 12.5, and you're also gonna measure upwards. You can make this however long you want. I know that this is 5 inches, and then I'm gonna add 2 additional inches so that when it folds down, there's enough room for that. So 7 by 12.5, and so whatever your container is, you're gonna draw a rectangle that's however high by the circumference. Now I'm gonna cut out the pattern that I've drawn. So this is the circumference and then this is the length. So now that I have my pattern for the body of it, I'm gonna trace the circles so that I know how big this platform, I guess it. So I have my 2 pattern pieces cut out, and the way that this works is that you have your platform and then that goes on top. And so I'm going to trace these now onto my fabric. For my fabric, I'm using denim for the outside, and then I'm going to use this floral sheet for the lining. I like to add a little bit of lace
because it's just a cute little detail. So
now I'm tracing my pattern onto my fabric, leaving 1/2 inch to 1 centimeter of seam allowance on all sides, doing the same to the lining as well. I'm doing the same to the circular piece, tracing it, leaving 1/2 inch seam allowance. I have the outer shell pieces cut out, and now I'm going to do the same to the lining. My lining, I'm going to fold these in half to both the lining and the outer shell. Where this line is, I'm going to pin it, and then I'm going to sew along it. So now I'm just going to do straight stitches along this line from the top to the bottom, including the seam allowance. Now that I have my straight stitch, I'm going to use a zigzag stitch to go over the edge of the fabric, letting the needle fall over to encapsulate the edge, preventing it from fraying. I always like to backstitch at the end of my work to prevent the threads from coming loose. Now that I have this stitched together,
I'm going to take the bottom piece and I'm going to attach these 2 together.
Like I was explaining, I'm going to take this bottom piece of fabric and align the right sides together, placing the edges to the edges and placing a pin to keep it together. You will have to manipulate the fabric to get these edges to line up, and you want to be placing frequent pins so that you'll have more control. Place the final pin in. Okay, now I'm going to do a straight stitch along this whole stretch of fabric right on this line. Now I'm just finishing off this stretch of fabric. Now that it's stitched together, I'm going to trim the fabric and do a zigzag stitch to lock in the edges. Now that I'm done this outer shell piece, you can see it has the zigzag and the stitch. So flip it over. Now I'm going to do every step that I did with this, I'm going to do onto the lining. Lining up one side and then making sure it goes onto the other. Sewing back stitch. Okay. Now that we're gonna trim it. Such a nice day outside, and I'm just sitting inside sewing. Sorry, Alright. I'm just going through real quick. Okay. Now we gotta do what we did before. Flip it out, and then get this. On this side, I am gonna go through both ends and poke the needle through both ends. But yeah, see, going through both sides, looking where I'm going. Do you want to hear a story time? Today at work, I work at like a fast food place, and the freaking drive-thru is broken, the sensor. So I never really know if anybody's there. I have to be like, hello? Hello? Like Melania Trump, no anything.
And it's kind of awkward, and then
There's only 2 of us. It's funny, we're always hiring people, but there's no one there.
it was really nice today. I was more nicer than I've been ever in my entire life. I don't know what it was. It was like when you're nice to people and you have kind of like a positive mindset, it can help you kind of get through it quicker, just better, you know what I mean? Because if I was just pissed off the entire time, like, I hate my job. I'm kind of an average person in the sense that I don't, I'm not very bubbly, but today I was like asking everyone how they're doing, and people get really surprised. They're like, I'm doing good, thank you.
I asked one guy, I was like, oh, how you doing today? He's like, it would have been better if I didn't have to wait and drive through for 10 minutes. And I'm like, well, fair enough.
I'm pretty impatient, but I also don't understand why some people are so rude to service workers. Some people are just mean. It's like, I'm only 17, dude. Like, what's your freaking problem?
I have this all pinned together. Alright, let's get started. Okay. No one is home. Nobody's home. Like, the reason why I'm doing this video is because every time I try to find patterns for stuff, I can never find it. And I don't want to pay for that. I'll spend like 20 bucks on some yarn, but you think I'm gonna spend $2 on a pattern? No. I just figured it out. I finished sewing, attaching the bottom panel to the side, and then I was just trimming the threads off and then turning right side out. I cut off the extra fabric and threads and did a zigzag stitch overlock. Okay, so my bobbin, the thread in my bobbin broke. So there's still this amount of stretch that needs to be overlocked. I don't think I care enough to do it. We have our shell and our lining. So pretty much how this is gonna go, you're gonna keep this flipped inside out. And then you're gonna put this lining inside, and you want the right side to be facing out. Now how I want this to work, I want these to fold into each other. So I'm gonna fold the denim down. And when I do that, I'm gonna do the same to the lining. And then I'm gonna pin that in place.
Right, and then do the same thing all around. So keep that denim folded down, and then fold down your lining.
See? I actually want to add a little bit of a lace trim in here. If you don't want to put lace in it, you can skip this, that's fine. So for my lace, we're gonna measure out the same circumference that we had earlier. I'm just gonna measure it out, and I know it's 12 and a bit more than half. I'm actually going to extend it out to 14 inches just so that I can overlap it a little bit. The reason I like to pin this beforehand is just so that you can just put the lace in. You don't have to fold it all together and then manage to finagle the lace inside. You can just take one pin out at a time, place the lace. You're gonna place the lace inside like that, and then take that fabric back, the lining fabric, and cover back up, and put the pin back inside. Okay, so then take this pin back out, bring the lining, place the lace, and then put your lining back, like that. So now we're back where we started, and I'm going to take that original pin out and then just place the end of my lace. Make sure this lace is really tucked in there. I don't want there to be extra space. So I'm just gently putting that in there. Okay, so now we're going to put the lining back and then put that pin back. Okay, now it's time to sew. It's already looking so cute. Okay, now that this is pinned, I'm gonna sew it along. Yay! Now we're just snip the threads. So I have the top and the lining also together with the lace. So now it's pretty much done. All you do is just flip it over. And then you have your lining showing through. And there you go. There you have it. You have a little pouch, and you can push this up and down if you wanted a lot less showing. You could. So if you only wanted like that much, then you could have that much. But if you wanted like a whole ton, you could have a whole ton. And because this is lined, you could flip it the other way, where then we have the denim part as the little touch of color, which I also really like that too. It's completely customizable. Now some uses for these could be a nail polish holder, somewhere to hold all your nail polishes, because I definitely have a lot. Hold like your claw clips in here, because I feel like I have so many claw clips, so that's probably what I'm going to be using this for. But you can also use it to hold hair elastics, scrunchies. You could even put your brushes, like makeup brushes, in it. Do whatever you really want. You could use this as kind of like a decorative cover, so you can put that in there. They're so cute, and they come together very easily because it's, you know, the pattern you make it off of is any cylindrical object you have. It's not super complicated. 2 tubes, a little bottom layer, and then you sew them together, and you put some lace in between it. It's super cute. I love them. So if you've been trying to make these and you can't really find a video on it, here you go. But yeah, this is the first YouTube video I've ever made, so, you know, keep that in mind. If you watched to the end, thank you. Please like and comment, please. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. If you have any ideas, let me know. Thank you. Bye bye.